Yo, what's up, guys? And today we are finally back with making videos. Hopefully, we'll see how college is. And I figured, you know what? Let's do a prediction for this fight night card that is happening this weekend, which is Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. I'm very interested to see how this fight goes, but we'll get into that when we get into the main event. But for now, guys, I'm going to give you my full card predictions for the entirety of this fight night card. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, now the first fight we have is Juliana Miller versus Carly Judice. I'm going with Miller because I just think that she's a little bit better. There's just not much you can say about these first couple women's fights. There just isn't. I think she's a little bit better. She has a better record. That's about it. I'm going with her by decision. All right, next up we have Jordan Levi versus Yadir Divallo. I was going to go with the Yadir at first because he's younger. He has done more finishes. But then I looked up who his last opponent was, and it was against Isaac Dugarian. It was a first-round submission against a guy who just threw the fight away, you know? So I'm going to go with Jordan Levi by decision. I don't think that he'll finish him. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think so. I think both these guys are going to be, very grapply heavy fight. All right, next up, we have Phil Rowe versus Jean-Paul Lebesanayi. This is a good test, actually, for Jean-Paul. I like this guy. If you saw his Day and White Contender Series, it was a disgusting finish. And the fact that this dude's, 5'10" or something, he's a small welterweight. The fact he did that knockout against a guy who was ginormous was very impressive and was really, cool. Now, he's fighting against Phil Rowe. Now, Phil Rowe's a decent, starting guy to fight in your debut. He's not the worst can to fight. I like that, actually. I like that when you give someone in their debut a guy that's not too ass, so we can get a good understanding of how good they're gonna be. Now, I could see him finishing this, but I don't know. I feel like Phil Rowe is, again, he's too tall, he's too lanky. Even though I just said that about the guy who just knocked out, that guy fought in the Day White Contender Series. Phil Rowe is a guy who's been fighting UFC for a while now. At least, 5 years at this point? I don't think that he'll finish him. I think that he'll go to a decision, but I think he'll give him a butt whooping. I think he'll kick his ass very badly. So, I'll go with Jean-Paul by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a finish or a TKO here. Alright, next up we have Ramzat Brajima versus Paulie Sorino. I'm going to go with Ramzi because I think that the two guys he's finished have been a lot better, and he's done it in more impressive fashion. Sorino this guy doesn't impress me. Yeah, he's on, I think it's a 3-fight winning streak right now, and I think 2 of them are finished. His last fight was a decision, which was quite boring, I'm going to be honest. But I don't know, man. I just don't think this guy's what does this guy give me vibes of? He doesn't give me vibes of being an elite contender. I don't. Same with Ramzi, but I see him going a little bit higher in the rankings. Maybe he could potentially get into the top 15, but I doubt that. Neither of these guys could be ranked, let's be real. But I think Ramzat's a little bit better. I could see him finishing Sorino, but I don't think that he will. I don't think that he will. I think he'll mostly dominate him, and I think he'll get an easy, comfortable decision. All right, next up we have Nora Kolani versus Jorcino Edwards. I'm going with Edwards by decision. She's better. She's on a 3 or 4 fight winning streak at the moment. Norina is just very inconsistent fighter. Win some, lose some, win some, lose some, win some, lose some. You know, there's just nothing that impresses me about her. I mean, she is a decent test, I would say, for Edwards because she's ranked, but that's about it. Nothing else. All right, next up we have Alan Corino versus Luis Gorel. Also, if you notice, I'm speeding through all this just because most of these fights we don't really care about. We're just going through them because we kind of know what's going to happen. I'm going with Alan Corino by TKO in round 2. This guy actually has decent power. I don't remember I watched this guy when he was fighting, but I looked at a couple of highlights, and yeah, he looks pretty good. 27 years old. He had a 3rd round TKO on the Lopez and Silva card. Quite impressive. I think that he'll get it done with. Luis Gorel just doesn't show anything interesting towards him. I don't think that he has anything that can really be a big threat. He got KO'd by Adi Osborne, but that guy has crazy power, so it's not too crazy. That's not really a big shame because that guy has one of the most dangerous powers in the flyweight division. Again, though, I just don't think that he'll win this fight. Either a TKO or a decision. Either way, I'm going with Alden. All right, next up, ironically, Adi Osborne versus Alib Adris. I'm going with Adi Osborne by 2nd round TKO. I'm very surprised the predictions on this fight's close because Adi Osborne, I think, is just he's shit, but I think that he's better than Alib Adris. I mean, the guy lost in his debut against the tough Ultimate Fire finale. Didn't look that impressive to me at all. I think that Ali Badris will get finished in this fight because Adi Osborne has the power in his hands. I mean, yeah, Adi Osborne does get taken down, but Ali Badris isn't a wrestler. I don't recall him like holding him down aggressively or trying to submit him in his tough Ultimate Fire finale. I didn't see that, so I gotta go with Adi Osborne. All right, next up, Chidi Nkokwani versus Carlos Lee. I'm amazed I just got that name. Whatever. I'm going with Chidi by decision. I think that after the performance that Carlos Lee had against Muslim Salikov, I believe his name was, I don't see this guy being good at all. I thought Carlos Lee was going to be somewhat decent, maybe potentially be in the rankings, not championship level, God no. But I thought he would be in the rankings, and he got KO'd in like the first like 40 seconds. Yeah, yeah, Chidi's going to finish this guy. I don't think, okay, no, I take that back. I don't think he's going to finish him. I think that he may rock him, but I think that he'll get a comfortable decision. Maybe Carlos Lee wins one round. Maybe there's like a third round where it's like 50-50. And the judges give it to Chidi, but I think that he'll get this by decision. All right, next up, my go, Zachary Rees versus Michael Behera. If you guys have watched my videos for a while now, you know that I love Zachary Rees. I thought this guy was going to be elite. I thought this guy was going to be great. And then, yeah. But at least Tom Nolan's doing good, though. For Zachary Rees, okay. I'm going to try not to be biased. I'm going to say Zachary Rees by TKO in round 2. I don't know, bro. This is a tough fight for Zachary Rees, bro. This is a step up for him. A massive step up for Zachary Rees. Because, listen, Michael Pereira's shit. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. But it's Michael Pereira. He has fought a good amount of, like, top-level middleweight guys. Zachary Rees, I'm going to be honest, who has he fought like that's, like, high level? Dumas? We're really going to go with Dumas? Yeah, no, come on, Mud. Anyways, I'm going to go with Zachary Rees by TKO in round 2. The reason why I'm going to say that he'll finish Michael Pereira is, for one, he got finished by Kyle Dukas. Dukas is, like, very, like, he's got good power in his hands, bro. People forget, man. And as well, Michael Pereira, like, I just don't think that this guy just has anymore. Like, he looked so shit against Abus, and he just looks so, like, hesitant against Kyle Dukas. I don't know what's up with Michael Pereira. If that Michael Pereira shows up and fights Zachary Rees, he's going to get finished. But if Michael Pereira shows up like an elite level guy, like we saw against Michael Olishak, the Ukrainian guy who is shit, you know what I'm talking about, then he'll finish Zachary Rees. But I just don't think Michael Pereira wants to, like, fight anymore. Like, I think that this guy just doesn't want to lock in. That's what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to go with Zachary Rees by TKO in round 2. All right, next up, Jacob Smith versus Joshua Harley. I'm going to go with Jacob Smith by TKO in round 2 again. The reason why I'm going to say that is, I mean, both these guys are undefeated and prospects. Like, that's, you don't see it a lot, actually. You don't see two undefeated guys fighting each other. You just don't. I think Jacob Smith has had more experience, especially because the fact that he has had fights in UFC. Harley hasn't had a single fight in the UFC. Not yet. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the UFC, like, pictures, like, when they render them. This guy is, if you can see in the picture, he's wearing the first era Venom shorts. Don't know what happened to him. I don't know why that's the case. Maybe he got cut, maybe missed weight, like, actually. But yeah, I think Jacob Smith will get this done. I think he has the dangerous power. I think that he has the good striking. He's good on the ground as well, I would say. Like, not too crazy, but he's got a good ground game, I'd say. I do see this fight not going to a decision at all. Regardless of what happens, this is not going to a decision at all. So I'll go with Jacob Smith by TKO in round 2. All right, next up, Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija. I'm going to go with Ante Delija by TKO in round 1. Listen, he's coming off a bad loss against Waldo Cortez after what happened. You know, I poked him, and at first it was a proclaimed first round stoppage for him. Then they overturned it, and they let him fight. And then immediately Cortez knocks him out. That's quite bad. But when you look at how Cortez has been in his last 3 other fights, 3 fights, mind you. This was back in, like, what, October? That's crazy. Cortez is fucking active. He's an active guy. Ante Delija, he didn't look too bad in that fight. Like, people forget, man. He almost finished him. Sergey Spivak. Spivak has not impressed me at all. Got finished by Jelton Almeida when Jelton Almeida was actually locking in. I can't believe he got cut, but he deserves it 100%. I mean, it's a tough call. Like, I could see Spivak winning this, but I don't think so. I don't think that he'll get this fight done. He did have a close fight though with Cortez. That is something to be said though. Let's say that as well. Spivak could have arguably won that fight against Waldo Cortez. Everybody forgets that fight. I don't know, man. I think the momentum. Both these guys don't have momentum at all. I'll go with Delgy. I'll go with Delgy by TKO in round 1. All right, next up we have Dan Ige versus Melquizael Cortez. I want to say Dan Ige. Because Dan Ige, this is one of those fights where Dan Ige beats up an upcoming prospect. It just is. But I think that Costa will get it done. Costa is like, I think on a 5-fight winning streak. Mind you, he's unranked. This guy hasn't been ranked at all. It just occurred to me. So, yeah, no. I'm going with Costa. I just thought about that. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about that. I thought Costa was like someone else. But no, this guy's on a 5-fight winning streak against good guys in the unranked featherweight division. He's gonna win this fight, actually. No. I thought this was gonna be a close fight, but then as I'm literally recording this, guys, I just realized Costa's on a 5-fight winning streak. He's going to school Dan Ige. All right, next up, we have the co-main event. This is Jeff Neal versus Uras Medic. This is my lock of the night for the whole card, guys. I'm going with Jeff Neal by TKO in round 3. Now, you might be surprised why I'm going with TKO in round 3. Jeff Neal struggles, I feel, against tall guys. Like, look at Shavkat, look at Ian Gary. Like, they're tall and they're moving around, and they're just... and because Jeff Neal is such a small welterweight, he kind of struggles with guys who are way taller than him. Against guys like Vinicius Oliveira, he wins. Okay, ignore Bilal Muhammad. Wonderboy was a tall guy, though, so there's another example. But ignore Bilal Muhammad. Jeff Neal usually does good against guys that are his size. Look at RDA, Vicente Luque. You might be wondering, then, if you're saying those statements, why are you not going to go with Orez? Well, Orez is shit. Just is. He's not that good. Like, he's just not. He's a bum. Jeff Neal, yes, he's like, what, 2-6 in his last 8 or something? I don't even know. He's lost a lot. Like, that, we'll just say that. Jeff Neal, though, he has competed against high-level guys. Carlos Prates, RDA, Ian Gary, Shavkat, Vicente Luque when he was good, Bilal Muhammad, Wonderboy. All those guys I'm saying, besides maybe RDA, you could argue, are all elite. They were either elite at the time or they were coming up. I don't think that's really like a bad loss to have. Like, when you look at like all the guys he's lost to, a lot of them like that's nothing to be ashamed of, especially when you look at where they are now. Or his Medic, he got KO'd last year. Yes, he's on a 2-fight winning streak now, but doesn't impress me. The guys he's beaten doesn't impress me. Muslim Salikov is a solid win for him. It is, but it's Molly Savkov. That's his best win. Are we going to say he's going to be future champion? No. Jeff Neal will get this by TKO in round 3, though. Because I think that Orez will be able to do good. Maybe in the first round, he's moving around. Jeff Neal's trying to close in on him. And, like, he does catch him maybe a couple times. But it's only until, like, the 3rd round where Jeff Neal finally gets a good shot and finishes him. Alright, now for the main event, guys. Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Now, I've been like 50-50 on this fight for a while now. I think Strickland has good case why he should win this. Sometimes I think Anthony Hernandez has a good case as to why he should win this. But when I look at it more, I think Anthony has a better shot at winning this for a few reasons. One, he's a very pressure-heavy fighter. Strickland does not like a guy who is a pressure-heavy fighter. Look at the DDP in the second fight, or even the first fight, really. Jared Cannonier as well, you can make an argument there. I think Strickland does not like a guy that like pressures him heavily. I think as well, the fact that he's going to have to deal with a guy who's going to be a heavy grappler will definitely play a part as well. Yes, Strickland has good takedown defense, but it was against DDP. DDP is a good takedown guy, but I don't think he's like anything too special. I think Brendan Allen's better. I think Hernandez is better. I think there are guys that are a lot better than taking down Strickland. And Anthony Hernandez, besides Khamzat Chimaev, is the best one. So overall, I think this will definitely be a tough fight for Anthony, but I think that in the later 3 rounds, because this will be a 5-rounder, I think that he'll get it done with. I think this could be a tough 48-47 for Anthony. So that's what I'll go with. I don't think he'll finish Strickland, because Strickland, besides Pajera, has not gone finished in the middleweight division. So that's what I'll go with. I'll go with him by decision 48-47. But guys, that is my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Do you agree with some of these takes? Do you not? and we'll see what happens this weekend.
Peace.